There is a new condition, the millennial condition. Millennials were born in the late 80s to the mid-90s, and they had parents who are more akin to siblings than traditional parental roles. They're the parents who took their kids to after-school activities every single day. These children grew up not to understand how to be bored and not to be able to reflect. This is compounded by the relentless social media always being on and having to curate their perfect positive image online. There is such a thing as millennial burnout, and it is a very serious issue. This is particularly highlighted at university. 94% of counselling service at UK universities have seen an increase in the number of people visiting them in the last 5 years. That's not to mention all the suicides that have been increasing as well. The typical ways we deal with life do not work for millennials. So I recruited coaches because I did a coaching-based intervention. I recruited 14 coaches who coach students one-to-one over a period of 1 or 2 years for 6 sessions each year. The first thing I found out in my research was what the tensions at university were. One of the tensions was all about having big goals, but having to deal with the nitty-gritty small steps to get there. Lose focus on one or the other, you'll never get there. The second tension that students had to contend with was having so many opportunities at university they wanted to do, like clubs and societies, but they mustn't spread themselves too thin, otherwise they risk not getting their degree. So how did coaching help? Number one, it gave them the balance, focus and clarity, which gave them a sense of control and confidence. One-to-one coaching broke down their big goals into small, manageable, productive steps and helped them to prioritise what was important for them. Number two, the students saw their coach as a number of roles, as a confidant, as a cheerleader, as a maternal figure, as a PR consultant, as a strategist, and as a role model who they could emulate. Coaching filled a gap they didn't know they had. All the more significant given the sibling parenting that they had. The third finding was that coaching accelerated their personal growth. One student said that if he'd only known what he learnt that year in the first year, he'd have got a first overall. So coaching ultimately puts them on the path to positive personal growth.